Where's Gibbs?
Hello, welcome to How to Teach class. I'm Bhakdar. I've been fighting about 15 years. I've been training people for about 12 of them. My hope with this class is to impart knowledge about just principles of effective teaching, and especially effective teaching in sword fighting, which I think it's really important to not just talk about and show what you're teaching, but to have your audience participate and practice what you're teaching. If your body doesn't learn it, you're not going to retain it. So we're going to learn about effective principles of how you teach and hopefully get people to retain what you're teaching them. We're going to talk about outlining a class, or just outlining a training style and going through a loop of the concept of what we're talking about, a demonstration, how to apply the concept with gear in your hands, have everyone practice, come back, troubleshoot it. What are your mistakes? What are we running into as difficulties? What's not working? What's working? If need be, go back and demonstrate and practice that again, and then come back and always review. And ask everyone at the end, what are you taking away from this? What's the top thing you're going to apply today on the battlefield from this, so you can actually retain it? You always want to adapt to your students, so you'll hear me often say, are there any questions? Is there any comments on that? Am I not yet teaching something that is on this topic that you still want to learn? So check in with your audience. And again, at the end, always debrief, always have people say out loud, what am I taking away? Or show another person, teach another person. You retain it by teaching others. Any questions about the core concept of the class so far? Cool. So, teaching principles. One thing is make sure everyone can see you and hear you. Would have been wise for me to do even before outlining what we're going to talk about. Can everyone see me?
Yeah.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Great. I typically don't have a problem with that. If you know that you sometimes do have a problem with other people hearing you, make sure that happens first. Right? If they can't hear you, they're not getting what you're saying. Think ahead about what you will instruct and what you want your audience to participate. We can't act out and demonstrate and spar practice every single concept that's going to get touched on in the class, or it'd be a 5-hour class. So break down, what can I demonstrate? What do I really want my class to apply and practice in person at the class? Assess what space is optimal. We've just been fighting in the sun for an hour. That's why we're sitting in shade. Can you all see me and hear me? That's part of your spacing. If I'm talking to someone one-on-one rather than a class, the context of space may change. How many times have you seen even a decent veteran fighter try to explain a concept to a new person on top of the picnic table where everyone else is drinking Gatorade on a water break? Hey, let me show you this cool shield kick. Oh, I just injured 3 people, and we're not even on the field. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Don't do that. So think of your space first. Great that you're enthusiastic to teach someone something. Find the right context for it. Cool? Class control. Say it loud, say it proud. Try to get your point across clearly without being condescending. If you're not projecting yourself and what you want to take in direction of the class, though, it will be overtaken by your audience and their questions and their tangents. So going with that, try to condense to core themes and make sure you're always coming back to those core themes. Or you'll wander on tangents. We're all a bunch of sword fighters with undiagnosed ADHD. Okay. Use all the modalities that you can. That means speaking and hearing. That means seeing through a demonstration. And that means practicing it physically with your body. Kinesthetic, auditory, all different types. I've been outlined that people can look at or read afterwards.
What's a modality?
Like a learning modality is what I mean by that. So some people learn most through hearing, others through writing it, others through reading it, others through seeing it demonstrated, others kinesthetically through acting it out, learning through doing. Pardon. Thank you. Good clarifying question, and that's what I mean by learning modality. Any questions on that? Any questions on anything I've blabbed about so far? Cool. And then, when you can, apply to as many contexts as possible. And what I mean by that is like sword fighting contexts. It may be a concept of feinting and feints and setups. There's a class we're going to go to later today. I can apply feints and setups in a one-on-one sparring context, and then in a small group, like 3-on-3 context, and then on a battlefield context. So if you can expand to all the different scenarios someone might apply this in. This is how you do it single, this is how you do it in a tournament, this is how you do it in a group. Do it where you can, and don't lose the whole class day by trying to apply it everywhere. But if you can get beyond just the one-on-one a little bit in anything that you're trying to impart, your audience is going to be able to use that skill better in more situations. With a more experienced audience, teach through asking questions when possible. If you've got a core idea that you're trying to get to, and you know some people in your audience have a good sense of that, and can describe it well, or also show it well, get them up and doing it. You'll find this is the most lecture-oriented class I'm doing today. It's a lot more verbal material than tangible. As much as you can, get a demo buddy with you living it to show things, and get your audience in participation. Try to cultivate participation balanced with the talk of concept. Too much chat will never get to applying the bat to it. Right? The body's got to learn the material to retain it in sword fighting. And as much as you can, give tangible drills and exercises in class, that you practice enough in class to get some muscle memory going. And hopefully that sparring exercise or that demonstration, that partner practice is something that you can replicate. The audience can replicate on their own outside of class. Here's the drill. You can do this to warm up at your local park. Right? So it's not just I train you once. This is great. I remembered it for 2 practices. And then it kind of trickled off in months. This is the drill you do to retain that skill. Everyone with me on that? Demo, this is huge to me. Demonstrate with a partner that will understand what you're doing and avoid demonstrating on new people. Do I have an audience member that's like 6 months or less? We take a half step back and we'll tilt this way. Oh, what did I just do? What did I just do as an instructor?
You just took into consideration your space.
Yes. We're making sure. Can everyone see us? Can everyone still hear me? Okay, cool. Check in with that. Okay, so if we were going to demonstrate something, and I'm going to be teaching him how to stab someone in the belly, am I going to teach him by, yeah, you pump up here and then you come down and stab him in the belly? No, I'm teaching him to be afraid of his belly. Okay, because he's the defender. Okay, so don't do that. Because by muscle memory, what my words might be saying is, this is how you stab someone's belly. But what his body is doing is, get away from my belly. Okay? So I'm going to come by him and say, okay, this is our feint, and this is how we're sliding forward and stabbing him in the belly. Okay, so come alongside. Okay, our stance is the same. Okay, yeah, our sword foot's both forward. Here's our dip or our fake or whatever. You feel me? So come alongside and be parallel with the person you're teaching. Don't teach on the new person. Teach with the new person. Feel me? If you say, this is a rap shot. No, he's trying to learn how to block it because you're swinging at him. He's not learning how to throw a rap. Okay? So instead, get someone that knows a rap shot and how to defend against it. Moses, stand up in class. Get your demo buddy to be, please pick up a sword. And really, you know, what I'm doing sword related isn't as important here. It's okay, let's work with him. We're going to step this way and juke, and we're going to throw a wrap over that shoulder. Okay, now you step up and try. Yeah, side step and left. And we're, okay. You feel me? Like, now we're alongside together, and he's mimicking where this makes more sense. So, we're going to demonstrate from this angle. And he's a lefty and I'm a righty. And then where are we going to demonstrate from? From this angle. Yeah. Intuitive, but don't forget to do it with the class. And maybe especially with a lefty versus righty class, because you're seeing all the action of side. Cool. So show from multiple angles where you can, and always have people repeat back what they're learning. Highlight the parts of what they're retaining, what they want to go on to apply in practice. So let's take a pause for that. Here's the meta. Someone from my audience, tell me something you've learned so far. Okay, next I'm going to outlining content. So consider how skills can build on each other and go from simple to layered and complex. if I'm trying to teach a class, like later today, we're going to do a class on feints and setups. And if I'm going to teach someone, okay, yeah, I want you to take a step this way, shuffle your shoulders that way, and then deliver a strike this way. Okay, I'm trying to teach you 3 steps at once. No, okay, first, we're all going to get in a line with a buddy, and we're going to step right. And then we're going to step right and throw a body feint into it. And then we're going to step right and throw a body feint and see what opens. And then we're going to think about what opening I can capitalize on best, given the opponent standing across from me. Then I'm going to do the whole feint and set up. And then I'm actually going to hit them where they open. And each time we're going to go and practice that thing, that one motion, that step, that body feint, that whatever, about 6 times or more before you try to put them all together. And if you're in your first 6 months, and you just, string this all together. I'm stepping right? Left? You feel me? So always try and break things down into micro steps if you can. Build up from there. The other core thing is use the learning loop that I mentioned earlier. Learning loop meaning how we give information and how it's retained. So here's the learning loop. Explain your concept. Demonstrate your concept. Have everyone practice your concept. If you got enough veterans who know the theme, have them go, and yourself as an instructor go and help them apply the context in a sparring pod or a small group pod. Come back as a big group. Troubleshoot it. Ask your whole class, what are you learning? What stands out to you? What's most important here? Them saying it out loud will help them retain it. Them saying, aha, this was an epiphany. I should take that home. Helps them take it home with them. Cool. And then review. If you're running into a lot of troubleshooting, like, oh gosh, I'm still getting super juked out by X. Okay, let's go back, demonstrate X. Here's the response to X. Here, let's all practice responding to X, training buddy partnerships. Let's come back and review it again. Explain concept, demonstrate. Everyone practices, troubleshoot it, practice again if you need to, review it, debrief what are people actually taking away. Okay. Thanks for your time and attention. This has been How to Teach. If anyone wants an outline of this, I have a few paper outlines with me, and otherwise I will post the final outline to the Norcalia Facebook forum. So anyone can print it off and use it. Cool.